Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting are posted on the public bulletin board in the lobby of the Municipal Center and published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year. Salute to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Omar, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Dayton?
Here.
Councilmember Menon? Here. Councilmember Michaels?
Present.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Here.
Councilmember Park? Here. Mayor Zena?
Here. Okay. First, I'd like to introduce Kevin Galland. He's our new interim borough administrator. Kevin, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Glad to be here. Why don't we go around today, starting with Julie. Just introduce yourself, please.
Hi, Kevin. I'm Julie O'Connor. Nice to meet you.
Benny Menon?
Mark Zena.
Oh, you know me.
Oh, I do.
Lauren Dayton.
Dan Park.
Omar
Solo.
Okay, I know everyone already knows this, but for the sake of the public, Kevin will be, his regular office hours are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. Of course, council meetings, he'll be here in the evenings, and he is available by email and phone 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Mayor,
yes.
I don't mind sending around a good contact number for Kevin.
Okay, we'll do, Omar, let's do that. Okay. Send that to the council members, email and cell number for Kevin. So this way you won't get any sleep. Okay, next on the, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome, we're glad to have you here. First, we're going to do a presentation on the holiday festival of Diwali. Councilman Menon, would you like to lead us on that, please?
Sure, happy to. In Diwali, we've been doing this proclamation for a couple of years now. Of course, the language is, stuff that, is kind of different. So, but Diwali actually is going to be next month on November 12th. But this is the last meeting before Diwali. So, just wanted to get this on here. So to begin. Whereas the holiday festival of Diwali, or as it is also known, Deepavali, is celebrated in autumn of each year by Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists, and others throughout the borough of Tenafly and around the world. And whereas celebrants of Diwali believe that rows of lamps symbolize the light within the individual that rids the soul of the darkness of ignorance, and whereas Diwali is celebrated by lighting the diya, or oil lamp, which symbolizes dispelling darkness and bringing light into life with traditional offerings, rituals, and festivals. And whereas Diwali is a festival of lights that includes many traditions, such as gathering with friends and family for community prayer, exchanging gifts, setting off fireworks, and decorating houses with colorful rangolis. And whereas the 5 days of Diwali week include Dhanteras, Narak Chaturdashi, Govardhan Puja, and Bhai Dooj, and whereas Diwali is also the Hindu New Year, and it is celebrated on the last day of the last month in the lunar calendar, and whereas for Hindus, Diwali marks Lord Rama's return to his home Ayodhya after defeating King Ravana, and is therefore a celebration of good triumphing over evil, and that light will prevail over darkness. And whereas for Sikhs, Diwali is the day on which the 6th founding Sikh Guru, Guru Hargobind, was released from confinement by the Mughal Emperor Jahangir. And whereas for Jains, Diwali symbolizes the attainment of nirvana by Lord Mahavira, the last of the Tirthankaras, who were the great teachers of Jain Dharma at the end of his life in 527 BC. And whereas for Buddhists, Diwali represents the day Emperor Ashoka chose the peaceful path of Buddhism over destruction and carnage. And whereas diversity represents one of our greatest strengths, and Tenafly joins with all those around the world celebrating Diwali. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, in the state of New Jersey, do hereby recognize November 10th through November 14th as Diwali 2023 week, with November 12th as Diwali in our Borough of Tenafly. and we call this observance to the attention of all our residents and call upon our residents to learn about its religious, cultural, and historical significance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilman.
Mayor,
Yes.
before we move on, I just also want to quickly say that October is Women's Breast Cancer, actually not just women, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, I have family members that are breast cancer survivors. It's a good time for everyone to check, make their annual appointments, and just be supportive.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, Councilman Jeff Grossman resigned from the council, so the council needs to choose a new council president, and I'm opening the floor to nominations.
I nominate Councilman Van Park.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any other nominations? Okay, we'll close the nominations. Omar, could you read the roll?
Sure. Councilmember Dayton?
Abstain.
Councilmember Menon? Yes. Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Okay, congratulations, Councilman. You're Council President.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, we need to choose a member of the council to be a Class 3 member of the Planning Board. So, discussion with council members. Any thought? Yes?
I'd like to nominate Councilman Menon.
Okay, any others or second? Or
Second.
any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate myself. Can I do that?
Sure, of course, you can nominate yourself. Is any other nomination, is there a second on that? Okay.
Thanks. It's 6 weeks. I'd like to do it.
Okay. If there's no other nominations, so we have one nomination and a second, Omar?
Yes.
Okay. For Councilman Menon?
Yes.
Okay, so we could please call the roll, please.
Councilmember Dayton?
Abstain.
Councilmember Menon? Yes. Councilmember Michaels?
Abstain.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for both of those pieces of business, everyone. Okay, we're going to do item number...
I just wanted to
Go ahead.
point out that this would actually be done, we did a voice vote and it's a resolution, but there is a resolution, R23-424, which is for the Class 3 member. So it's just to fill in the blank now that we have the name, so that's what the vote was going towards. But I just wanted everyone to know the resolution number.
So we're adding 424 on the regular consent agenda here? Yes, so we're just putting it in there.
No, it's just now. You just voted on it. It's just that it was a resolution, so I just wanted to, for the public, say the resolution number.
Understood. So, Councilman, there is a planning board meeting tomorrow night. I'll see you there. It starts at 8 o'clock. Could you let the planning board attorney know he needs to have the papers for Councilman to get sworn in tomorrow night?
I will do that.
That's Jeff Sand.
There's 2 meetings left in the whole year.
There actually could be 3.
3.
Yeah, there's 3. But
They have 2 in between your meeting tonight and your meeting in November.
okay.
And there's a public hearing tomorrow as well.
On what front?
On the housing ordinance.
I'm told that the meeting's on either. Is everyone hearing? Does the public hear what's going on?
We can hear them.
No, you hear yourself.
I hear myself.
Which is always the best thing to hear, right?
Hold on, give Omar a second.
Now,
We're good? Okay.
is it echoing?
Okay, we're moving on to the next item, the 2023 Best Practices Inventory. Susan, you want to come up to the microphone, please?
Okay, so the best practices in
Just give us your name.
Okay, Susan Schreier, CFO.
Thank you.
The best practices inventory questionnaire is sent to all municipalities, and what it does is it assesses the compliance with various laws and evaluates implementation of fiscal and operational best practices. So in order to qualify for financial aid, not financial aid, or state aid, you got to score higher than a 29, and I'm happy to report that we scored a 36.
Congratulations, good.
Get
Good.
more financial aid. Not state aid, financial aid.
College on the mind?
Huh?
Is college on the mind?
Yes. Yes.
Anyone have questions for Susan?
Well done.
Okay, thank you.
I think for some of these things, I would imagine we should be sharing some of these successes more broadly within Borough Hall, right? We're one big team, and when we win, when somebody wins, we all win. So I don't know if there's a way, like I know whenever the health insurance is up, seem to get an email, or when the phone lines are down. But something like this would be great to share across the borough, because we're a team, right? So congratulations.
Let's do that tomorrow. We'll craft an email for the entire team, okay? All right? Thank you, Susan. Great job. Okay, next, typically now we would have the administrator's report, but this evening I'd like to give the council an opportunity to ask Kevin any questions that they might have. Does anyone have any questions for our administrator?
I had a question.
Go ahead, Lauren.
We hired a PLM. No, we didn't hire a PLM.
Or did not.
I would like to make sure that whatever we are looking at, that we then put up close and discuss it.
So we what?
I believe the councilwoman is asking to add an additional item on the closed session.
Sure, we can add it on. Absolutely.
Guys, can we please wait to the public meeting?
Okay.
Let's try to figure it out.
Kevin, where are you coming from?
Sorry?
Where are you coming from?
Okay. I'm retired,
Yes.
but I did retire around Woodland Park, which was in Old West Patterson. For 15 years, I was the borough administrator, clerk, deputy registrar, purchasing agent, and to use the expression, I had to wash the police cars on the weekends.
And is that the area you live? Do you live around there?
I actually live in North Haven.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Not too far.
All right.
As long as the sun doesn't shine and we slow traffic down, we're in good shape.
Got married when I was retired.
Okay, I think the public hears now.
Can somebody?
Are we good, Omar? Are we good?
Well, I asked JP if he could hear us.
JP, can you hear us?
He might not be sitting on.
One of the things that we've got to do for the last 2 years is update the sound system here, and that's something that they always come up from the road. And this year, I can hear that.
Thanks, JP.
Thank you.
All right.
Sounds like the echo went away, right? Okay.
Then we should, by the way, just so the public knows, we should say we've done our Diwali proclamation because they didn't hear it.
Yes.
We did our Diwali. Right. Go ahead.
So just to let the public that's here know, we did the Diwali proclamation already. So happy Diwali, and from the borough, Tenafly, and mayor and council.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, we're going to move on to public comment. Audience members wishing to speak will have a 3-minute time limit to address the governing body. Large groups are asked to have a spokesperson represent them. Is there anyone here in the chambers who would like to speak? Please come up to the microphone, give us your name and address.
Andrew Till, 124 Oxford. Not why I'm up here, but to Councilman Michael's suggestion, that score, it would just be nice if everyone knew how well everyone was performing. So I don't know if there's a way to express that.
We can communicate that.
When everyone's complaining that the taxes are too high, they can know that the council and the mayor are fighting for them. So that's a good thing. So I came here because I'm hoping someone can help me and a number of people with some answers. Let me tell you what I'm looking to find out, and I don't know if I can get some clarity. So, you've already announced the elephant in the room, and let's move past that, right? So, what's being expressed right now out into the public realm is that essentially the Tenafly Democratic Committee is essentially meddling in the election, the election that's going to come up in the next few days. Let me tell you exactly the detail of what's being shared. What's being shared is that there's an open seat. I guess who was running has resigned. That, well, not just their seat, but the position.
Withdrew from the race.
Withdrew, thank you. Sorry. Thank you for that. And now the Democratic Committee is rushing into court to try to fill the name. It's past the deadline. They don't have names on the petition. They haven't done everything you all had to do. You fought. You did everything you needed to do by the letter of the law. So I would like to know if anyone here can clarify for me what the Tenafly, or if you can, what is the Tenafly Democratic Committee doing? I don't reasonably understand how it's constitutional. I mean, people have already voted on absentee ballots. Early voting is opening on Saturday. I hear the court date is Friday. Look, among us are talking, should we get a lawyer and to fight this woman, Shama, I don't know her, but her and the Democratic Committee? We don't know what to do, because we don't want this woman and the committee meddling in our town's politics and election. So I'd love to do, okay, sorry. So Mayor, I don't know if you can tell me or someone here can tell me what's going on.
So all I'm going to say is there's two different processes going on. Someone has resigned from the council. It's completely separate from what's going on in the election. So our attorney, Wendy, is going to explain the whole other political side of what is going on.
Right. So with the caveat that I do not represent the Tenafly Democratic Committee, I have read their filing, so I'm only answering you based on what I have read. Again, don't represent them. The borough, aside from the clerk being copied on it because he's the supervisor of election for the town, we're not a party in this. There is a procedure for someone to drop out of a race and to have it filled with a new name by the Democratic Committee or by the Republican Committee, whichever political party had that person on the petition. That date, however, if you've correctly noted, has passed.
Right. Okay. I was going to ask you if that date passed.
That date has passed.
Okay.
Their attorneys have filed an order to show cause, asking the court to consider other circumstances and to allow for them to basically act as if the date had not passed. So the process is not unconstitutional. There is statutory procedure for it, the caveat here being that all those dates have passed. So it'll be up to them to convince the judge as to why they should be considered in a situation. I'm sorry, it's
Good.
They'll have to go in on Friday to that court hearing to try to convince the judge to allow them to do so. My understanding from reading the papers is they're seeking to reprint ballots at their cost, and to have everyone who received a mail-in ballot receive a new one, and to put new ballots into the machines. I don't know what their success potential is on that. I can tell you machines are being delivered with, ballots in them already programmed, so I can't answer to that. All I can do is explain to you what I've read.
So we can only hope that the judge can recognize that it would be ultimate chaos to do what they're doing. It blows a lot of people away that everything that the Democrats in general have been complaining about, everything that all the craziness with the Republicans have been complaining about stopping the steel and all these crazy things, and it seems amazing to me that this is what's happening. Like, beyond. And I guess I can speak on behalf of many people. I only hope that the judge is a reasonable judge who understands the rights of American people and doesn't allow whoever Shama is and the rest of the, I'm guessing some people on the damages committee, but to not allow this to happen. So, but I know none of you are.
All of us are on the Dems committee, I just want to say.
Right, but we're not a party to...
Well, sorry, all the elected officials happen to be on that committee, including...
Yeah, no, I recognize. I recognize that.
Yes.
Okay, well, I guess I didn't get too much... I guess I didn't get the answer I wanted to really understand. So I guess we have to see what happens on Friday, right?
Are you going to the hearing?
I don't know. Maybe I think a lot of us want to... I mean, I wish, I don't know if we were allowed to write a letter to the judge. I don't know what we're allowed to do, but we're going to find out. Because it's crazy.
Can I ask, did you do a vote by mail?
I did not do a vote by mail. I'm probably going to vote early. I think there's a...
But you haven't voted yet.
I have not voted yet. But how about the people who did vote early? Like, what does it say to them? I can't comprehend it. I just can't comprehend it. So, and I really appreciate you guys listening and for giving me any, information. Because it just doesn't seem, well... I don't want to say legal, but it doesn't seem right. So, I guess we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Would anyone else like to speak, please? Yes, please come on up here. Just give us your name and address, please.
Peter Rustin, Woodland Street, Tenafly. I just want to point out that I wasn't going to speak, but I just want to clarify something for Andrew. And that is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, 5 of you are members of the Democratic Committee, and thus 6 actually with you and Mark, have a vote in anything that the committee wants to do. I would assume this is a democracy that the committee at some point in time had a vote as to whether to do this, and you have 6 votes right here. So it's not like you're not a party to it.
That doesn't mean all the people in this dais voted or agree with the process. Well, that's what's going on. Some of us weren't even there for that vote.
I'm not suggesting that you voted. I'm not even suggesting that you knew there was going to be a vote on what goes on. But you are members of the committee that decided to do that, so you're not really as impartial or not. You can't say that you're not part of the process.
Okay. I think there's differences of that opinion, but we'll leave it at that. Do you want to speak?
Yeah.
Come on up.
Is it public comment about anything?
It's public comment about anything.
Cool.
You could talk about the Titanic if you want.
I don't know what anybody was talking about actually. No way, I'm sorry. Howard Sliden, 88 Willow Lane, Tenafly. Again, I'd like to thank you, Mayor Zinner and Dr. O'Connor, for all your help with the West Ivy Lane and Englewood situation. It's been really helpful to the fact that I have some news to report back. The developer has, at the last minute, changed his plans. He's now down from 21 to 17 units. And what I see he's trying to do now is he's trying to fracture our group that got together between Tenafly and Englewood residents despite this. So they've moved back the 30-foot setback behind me, according to the drawings. However, they have extended patios. So everything's kind of deceiving. So we were going to have a hearing last night, and all of a sudden there were no engineer reports or nothing. They canceled the meeting at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
They now have to renotice everybody. The earliest will be another meeting is December. But, so we're basically at the situation we're at now, because I have to thank you guys for your help, because it was noted to me that they see the opposition that they're getting from Tenafly. And I just feel that, I can't abandon our neighbors in Englewood who are fighting this as well. And I'm going to continue to fight this. Even if they just correct one thing for me, there's still 15 other variances.
Correct. Correct.
So the fight continues, and
got to keep fighting. I'm glad you're making some headway.
Can I ask?
Of course, go ahead.
Are one of those engineering reports due, is it a stormwater outflow and
they'll have to reassess the whole property now.
Because we need to pay attention to that.
Yeah,
It
we
will
are.
flood our
Yeah.
Sunnyside and Ivy, and we have to, as a borough, pay attention, because again, water knows no town boundaries.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the amount of surface that they're going to remove, the amount of trees that they're going to remove, it's just out of control.
And patios don't absorb those waters.
Oh, I saw on September 11th, the last storm, I had water in my backyard by the fence there. So it's coming down from their property. And so now I have to make sure that, now there is going to be a backyard, there better be retention wells, seepage pits, if they put swales in, putting the water back towards their property.
Catch basins on the roof.
But, absolutely. But
Howie, were they up against a time frame too, though? Something was reminded.
well, that's why they'll have to renotice everybody. So I think it's every 90 days they have, and if they don't get everything done in time, they just have to renotice it. I don't know how expensive that is to everybody.
They're basically starting over again with a new site plan and new design.
Yeah, this will be the third site plan. And, it really gets to me is that, because we've hired a great person to fight this. But, it's costing all of us money because they wait until the last minute. They knew last Thursday that they were changing the plans because they put the architect on it. But they had nothing else to submit. And then to cancel a meeting at 3 something in the afternoon, the day of the meeting, it's just so disrespectful to the people around.
Yes, it is.
So they're not really working with the neighbors. And it's a shame, what you're doing to the city of Englewood too, because other applications are waiting and can't be heard. So, it's just a terrible mess.
Okay.
But again, thank you very much for all your help.
Our pleasure. Happy to help.
Thanks, Howie.
Sure. If you have another comment, sure.
Just a question.
Just give us your name again for the record.
Andrew Tillman from
Yeah.
Oxford. If I want to find out public information, I can come here and file a book request, right?
Correct.
Is there a way I can request the minutes from the Democratic Committee meeting?
No, that is not subject to Oprah.
Oh, I can't.
Well, just clarify for Andrew why, because that's not a function of the borough.
Yeah, right. That's not considered a government record that is held by the borough.
So I can't find out who voted yes, who voted, like, people are saying some people weren't there, some people, there's no transparency to that. Is that what you think? I know you may not know 100%.
I don't know how they keep their minutes. I don't know what they do. I'm not a member.
Okay.
Yeah, they definitely keep minutes. There's minutes kept. I don't know how the votes are recorded though.
Okay. And
that's a question for the committee leadership.
Okay, try to track that down. Thank you.
Would anyone?
I forgot one small thing.
Go ahead, Howie. Come on up.
Wait, Andrew, can you not leave?
Howie's signing an EDA well into last week when I returned from Florida, I had to run downtown for something. I saw CSX working on the tracks by the Clinton Inn. Does anybody know, did we request that so that they would clean up that area?
No, I'm not aware of any requests that DPW or myself or CFX do. I mean,
there are trees down across there, and I have no idea what they were doing.
Westabelt side or the Clinton side?
It was on the Clinton side.
Because Westabelt's disgusting.
Okay, one at a time here.
So there were trees down that have been down for a long time. I don't know if they were assessing that.
Maybe that.
I mean, they clean it occasionally.
Occasionally.
They come along
That's
and
the only,
pick lots
the
of
only
the
time
trees.
they come.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure they're not doing track improvements for whatever reason.
They proposed to clear all that brush.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, Howie?
No, that's it.
Would anyone else from the public in the council chambers like to speak? No? Okay, Omar, is there anyone out there on the web that wants to talk to us?
Sure.
Or ask questions?
If anybody is online who would like to speak, please raise your hand.
No one?
Hello? Is this Samsung's phone? Could you please raise your hand if you wish to speak? I don't.
Are they asking us a question or?
I can't hear.
I don't think they're asking us.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Oh, they put themselves on mute.
They're on mute, so it looks like there's no other further questions from members of the public. All right, so we're going to close public comment time. Okay. Can I get it? We're going to go to the consent agenda. I'd like to get a motion to approve resolutions 23-413 through 23-423, please.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Omar, could you please call the roll?
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Lennon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion for resolutions R23-425 through R23-429.
Before you do, Mayor?
You have a question? Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, actually, if it's okay in the future, I understand that we've been doing them en masse, but can we individually vote on them? Is there an objection to that?
No, this is the individual non-consent agenda resolutions. They can absolutely could be separated for individual discussion. If there's no individual discussion, the mayor has been putting them together.
Yeah,
but if there is,
what happens is it gets rushed.
Okay.
And, so just...
So Mayor, it would be one by one resolution.
Okay, so I'll go. Is there any discussion on any of the consent agenda items first?
I think what council member is asking for is that each one just...
As we go? Sure.
And second.
Okay.
And then vote.
Which I think that was the initial way we were doing it.
That's fine. That's fine. Can I get a motion on R23-425, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Omar, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes. Mayor, we can
Councilmember
have the
Lennon?
picture.
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
No, I thought that was...
Yeah.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
The court can have your picture.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve resolution R23-426?
Just on this one.
Yes, go ahead.
The rifles that are being requested by the chief of police, by the police department, just confirm these were in the capital budget approved by us. Maybe Susan can answer that.
Susan, can you come up to the podium, please? So, did you hear the question from the councilman? Were the rifles in the capital project?
I should go back and look.
Pardon me?
I should go back and look. The chief is very good with what, when you put something on, if it says it's in the capital budget.
Well, it's for capital and operational, so it's coming from both.
And operational.
Where is...
So, I don't know why it's capital and operational, but I'm sure he has the funds to do this for 2019.
Yeah.
Do you need any further?
I was just curious
If you
in
want to
terms
look
of...
back and look.
I mean, I don't think it's necessary. It was just, sometimes these are coming out of nowhere. We don't really...
So how about we do it this way? We vote on it, and then Susan, could you please deliver the council members the answer of whether it's coming out of capital or operating subsequent to this? Okay, and then we'll just keep moving forward.
Just for the comfort of the council, Susan will certify the account that it's coming from as well, so you would get all of that information.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve resolution R23-426?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Omar, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Lennon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution R23-427?
So
I have a
moved.
question on that one.
Sure, go ahead.
Did we bid that out?
Planning board?
Planning board attorney?
No, it was a non-fair and open.
Okay. Thank you.
Omar?
Just waiting for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Omar, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Lennon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution R23-428, please?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
Second.
Omar, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Lennon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution R23-429, please?
Can I say, this isn't attached to the agenda today.
So it was a late attachment, and it's just to clarify when you accepted Mr. Homsey's resignation effective October 17th, he actually worked through October 19th, so it's just amending that prior resolution for the date.
That's fine, it wasn't attached, so.
So moved.
Second?
It is.
It is.
Omar, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Menon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Parker?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to the first ordinance. Where is my copy of that?
JP, this is the TVAC ordinance.
Omar, do you happen to have a copy of that in paper in front of you? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry, I misplaced it.
I can't see the yellow.
Okay. All right, Omar, this is ordinance 23-23 TVAC fees. Omar, could you please read the confirmation of publication of the ordinance and the title?
Sure. Ordinance number 23-23 is an ordinance that was published in the October 15th edition of the Record. Is an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 2, Administration of Government, Article 2, General Organization, Section 2-46, Voluntary Ambulance Corps of the Revised General Ordinances of the Borough of Tenafly, 2004.
I'd like to open the floor for public comment. Or you have a question first, Councilman?
I have a question.
In terms of,
Yes. So, Mayor, this ordinance was introduced at our last meeting, and since that time, there was 2 provisions that were found that need to be amended. So what we'd like to ask the council is to open the public hearing to hear comments, but then to carry it to the November 20th meeting, so that it can be voted on as amended, and it would be renoticed in the paper. The amendments, just for the benefit of the public and for the council, in case it wasn't clear, is that there was previously indicated that the TVAC officers would be installed in November. That date actually needed to be January, so that was changed in the ordinance. And then through consultation with the captain of TVAC, it was decided that having the mayor and council be the ones responsible for approving the use of TVAC equipment at certain events, such as a
Football game.
request for a football game. These requests come in sometimes with very short notice. So the change was made that instead of being to the mayor and council, let it go through the borough administration. Those were the 2 changes that we'd like to consider for amendment.
Big enough to push it to another meeting, or sustain, whatever that word.
No. So what would happen is, since the ordinance is amended, it has to be renoticed again, and it would be voted on as with the amendments that we've discussed, because these are substantive amendments,
Yes, that's
so that
the word,
it can't be adopted this evening
Gotcha.
with those amendments. Only if you did not choose to incorporate those amendments would you be able to adopt it tonight.
Gotcha.
So I just also want to point out, it does actually have the appointment of a medical director, and I would like to get that done before the end of the year. If possible, I am
Agreed.
very excited for that opportunity to get EpiPens and Narcan and everything else
That's important.
on our ambulances as soon as possible.
Go ahead.
You had made it seem like it's the change to borough administrator just for things that are like whatever this sort of
For
events
use
or
of
whatever.
borough equipment on non-emergency.
Are there any other circumstances where it would be something that's where, for example, the mayor and council would need to get involved in the question?
Well, there are requests of the mayor and council's activities, borough events, where you request TVAC to participate or to bring equipment, so that obviously already goes through you, but this is more to, and even those special events go through the borough administrator's office, so it's keeping in line with the request for special events that may have a request for TVAC to participate.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I,
You have a question? Go ahead.
With the permission of council, I'd like to know if it's okay if JP had any comments. I know he's
Yeah, we're going to open that up to the floor for everyone.
on the floor, but this
What?
is our TVAC, head of our TVAC.
Any other comments from the council first? Questions? Okay, let's open the floor for public comment. JP, do you want to weigh in on this? JP is gone. Okay, so I'm opening the floor for any public comments on ordinance 23-23 only, the TVAC fees. Is there any member of the public here that would like to speak? Come up, Howie. Just give us your name and address.
Howard Seidman, 88 Willow Lane, Tenafly, New Jersey. First of all, I'd like to say I'm very proud of the volunteer ambulance corps we have in this town.
Definitely.
I've been working at a part-time job in EMS since 1986. And, it's great to see that we still have a volunteer ambulance corps.
That's right.
You look at most of East and South Bergen, and they're non-existent now.
Or going paid.
Yes.
No, you know what? It's unfortunately.
And so is Cresco, not Cresco.
Cresco's been paid.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the fire department.
But
A few years.
the towns are really hurting, and anything we can do to support our volunteer ambulance corps to keep them going is.
Sure.
So same thing with the fire department.
Yes, sir.
Our volunteers are the blood of our community, and we need them. So whatever you can do to help them, it's appreciated.
Other municipalities look up to our TVAC. They ask for a lot of.
Absolutely.
Our model works.
Absolutely. I mean, I talk to people from other towns, and they're impressed.
Yes, they are.
Everybody talks about, when they talk about EMS in Bergen County, they talk about TNEC and Tenafly. And TNEC's 3 times the size of us.
Exactly.
That's something to be proud of. So I think they do an amazing job, and whatever you guys can do to support them. Thank you.
Agreed. Well said, Howie.
Howie, one of the reasons why I'm pushing so hard for a medical director is additional medical training for our high schoolers and our young staff.
That's great. Yeah, a doctor who signed off on
Yes.
Absolutely. It's much needed. Thank you.
Okay, looks like JP is back on the line. JP, do you want to weigh in on this? We're talking about the TVAC fees, the ordinance. Thank you for your comments, Howie. He's gone again. Okay. Any other comments from the public here on this ordinance? All right. I'm going to close public comment time. Dan, would you like to, or excuse me, Lauren, would you like to make the motion on this one, please?
I move to amend.
Motion to amend.
I move to amend and adopt.
No, just amend.
I move to amend. And final
reintroduce.
Thank you. I move to amend and reintroduce ordinance 2323, and that notice of same shall be published according to law.
Have a second, please.
Second.
Second?
Yep.
Omar, please call the roll.
Councilmember Deaton?
Yes.
Councilmember Minnick?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Okay, going to move. Anyone have any old business?
Yes.
Was that a yes?
Yes. I have an old business. Last time, or 2 weeks ago, 2 meetings ago, I raised the concept of putting in a historic district into our downtown that we were discussing whether we wanted to explore. So again, I'm bringing this back up. I had brought up a historic district. I had brought up the creation of a museum for suffragettes here in Tenafly. By the way, there's a brand new Broadway play that's going to be sold out very quickly called All About the Suffragettes, starring Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony. So this is amazing. But again, historical interest, education, tourism, all of that. Between the downtown and the possibility of a museum, we can attract more people to our community. We can earn income that's not property tax. So anyway, I'd like to know if anyone would like to work on either of those things. Those are the 2 old business ideas that I had, and it seems like no one's interested.
I think that wasn't the conversation directed back to the Historic Preservation Committee. Right. So
again, they're interested, and
right.
now we
Okay.
are missing our
Right. So tonight we're going to have a discussion under committee reports regarding appointments to committees that are now vacant with liaisons, and that is one of the committees we're going to address tonight to get that. So we'll be able to get that message restarted.
Well, I spoke directly with the HPC on both of these things. They're interested.
Okay, good.
They're waiting on council to act and actually say, yes, we will vote for this.
All right. So we'll get to that in the agenda. Okay. All right.
I have a
new business or an old business? We've got new business coming up.
Okay.
I mean, we have to do the order
I'll
coming
wait
up.
for new business.
Okay. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of October 10th, 2023, October 14th, 2023, and the October 2023 closed session?
So moved. Second.
Have a second. Omar, could you call the roll?
Voice
Can I have all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Okay, thank you. For the good of the order, Lauren, why don't you tell us about this new...
So in speaking with the Historic Preservation Committee Chair, one of the things that he discussed might be an excellent idea for our community is the idea of some sort of tax abatement for those who maintain historic properties. You know, part of the reason why the theater couldn't maintain itself is they didn't go after all the historic grants and all the historic preservation that New Jersey and the country has. I think that would have helped. A lot of the people who take on historic homes have the additional burden of going through the HPC to make any sort of changes, maintenance, preservation efforts. And so the Historic Committee Chair would like to know if we'd like to consider the concept of giving those homes a small break so that they can then maintain these homes which benefit the entirety of the community and continue the charm of Tenafly.
I think that's at the state level.
No, actually, you can do it on a municipal level.
Well, I guess the question is, so whether the council gets into discussing the pluses and minuses, we need more information. In other words, right, we already have someone has the opinion that it's on the town level, another one on the state. Do you have any idea?
In coordinate?
I have not.
Right. So we need to, the Historic Preservation Committee, we need to do some research on that.
You want them to do it, not our side?
Well, I guess we need to have some sense of what are they looking to do, right?
Well, they want to have...
That's why we have the committee.
They want to have the cost of maintaining any of the properties. It doesn't have to be residential. The commercial properties. Look, Cafe Angelique should be looking for historic preservation grants and things that they also can get tax abatements. Those exist in New Jersey here. So we should be looking at our own properties and...
This is local tax abatements versus state.
It's both, actually. They're both available.
So I guess we need more information. Omar, why don't we make a note of that? We need to get some even general information.
There's an assembly bill that allows this.
Yeah. Okay.
Or has this.
What was that, Dan?
Well,
there's an assembly bill with this. I'm pretty sure when he was assemblyman, Gordon passed this.
Okay, so Omar, we need to get some facts about how any of that works. Okay.
So whoever becomes the HPC liaison, this is a great thing to continue with them.
Anything else for the good of the order? Okay.
I'm just going to go back to the landmark trees. Are we working on the landmark trees? We discussed at the last meeting, possibly making something for landmarking trees of a certain age width.
There already is in the Borough Code.
But to not cut them down.
Protection, I believe you had asked Vanu and Julie to, as part of their review, to consider strengthening that.
Okay, is that what we're up to?
Okay. I'm going to do 2 weeks too.
No. I'm not. Julie, I just want to make sure I'm following up on my stuff.
Can't believe it's already 2 weeks. We've been here for 4 months.
Okay, let's move. Any upcoming meeting discussions? No? Okay. So we'll go into new business introduction of ordinances. Okay. Amend the salary ordinance for OPEIU, ordinance 23-24. Councilwoman Dr. Julie O'Connor, would you like to make the motion, please?
I move to introduce on first reading ordinance 23-24 and set the hearing for November 20th, 2023 at 8 o'clock p.m. or as soon thereafter.
Have a second, please.
Second.
Omar, could you please read the title of the ordinance and conduct a roll call?
Ordinance number 23-24, an ordinance to provide for certain determine the rate of compensation of certain supervisory and administrative employees of the Borough of Tenafly represented by OPEIU Local 32 for the calendar year 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023.
Okay, could you read the roll, please?
Councilmember Dayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Bennett.
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels.
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Park.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 23-25 established. Of course.
This upcoming one?
With which one? 23-25?
Yeah.
Affordable housing.
I was just wondering if maybe you're trying to...
Yeah, Wendy, go ahead. It's about serpentine, right?
Yes, so ordinance 2325 is creating a new affordable housing zone. The council has purchased 4 properties over on Serpentine and have tasked the Bergen County United Way with, quite frankly, you've tripled the amount that was originally in your affordable housing plan for the number of units by adding one more home and by changing it to multi-family residential versus special needs. So it's now been approved by the court. Instead of 5 special needs units, it'll be 16 family units with special preference given to veterans and their families. So this is the ordinance to create the zoning which will allow for the multifamily in these 4 lots to be merged together into a multifamily 100% affordable building.
So I have a question about that because this came up. I was at Environmental Commission and John Worms, his liaison for planning board, and was explaining it then. So I had this question on my mind. So I'm just a little confused. I'm very glad we are fulfilling more of our unit. But initially, I thought that the veterans were involved. But you're saying that there's preferential treatment for family veterans. What are the parameters for who this housing goes to?
So it's multifamily, which means that it's not age restricted and it's not supportive housing special needs. It's going to have an affirmative marketing plan, and that's in the ordinance as well, that the first preference is for veteran families and veterans. It'll be 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms in the corresponding percentages that are required by UPAC. And you'll recall that the council asked Bergen County, we don't want 5 units, tell us how much you can actually do. So this, while it has the preference for veterans, we're not allowed to leave a unit empty. So if there is not enough demand from veterans and their families to take these units, it would go to other low and moderate income families. But anytime a unit becomes available, a first priority list would be for a veteran.
Can we make it 55 and over?
No. You just went to court with an amended affordable housing plan, and it's been approved as multifamily veteran preference.
So, and just a question about what we know about the standards. That's only for this specific property.
Correct. This is so where normally some of this stuff would be disallowed as spot zoning because it's affordable housing. You have the ability to zone particularly for these 4 lots together. This zone is only applicable to those 4 lots in Serpentine. It does not affect any other lot in municipality. It's only this site, which is only to be used as 100% affordable housing.
Because one of the standards is that it can go up to 45 feet and 3.5 stories.
Right, and that was specifically directed by the council to Tom Toronto from Bergen County to really try to maximize the amount of veterans housing that you can provide.
There was no way to say that it has to just be veterans housing?
That's not allowed under the affordable housing rules. It can only be for a preference.
Is there a reason, like Tom, the person we work with?
Tom Toronto from United Way.
And he worked with us on the
on the special needs facility on Tenafly Road.
In his experience, do these houses usually all have veterans or veteran families?
The list is long.
The list is long.
And all their facilities are filled.
Right.
Instantly.
Okay. And Bergen County really has made a concerted effort. I believe maybe back in 2017, 2015 was the first county in the United States, was it, that had housing for all veterans. So there is an effort to make sure that veterans get what they deserve for serving the country.
But
The second this is operational, tell Veteran Affairs and they'll fill it instantly.
This is a great project. It helps the veterans, plus it also significantly increases, I mean, it has
There's a lot of
gone a
programs
long
out there.
way for Tenafly in meeting the needs of our, the demands that the state makes upon us for affordable housing.
Yeah.
Right, so there's going to be 16 units
Well,
here?
and just so that you all can pat yourself on the back, because we mentioned it briefly, and it'll be on your, that's why there's a revised housing element for public hearing before the planning board tomorrow, is because thanks to everyone sitting up here that votes, not me, you all have essentially taken the plan that you had approved by the court in 2018 and doubled the number of affordable units that you're going to provide to the town. So instead of 21, you're getting credit for 42.
Because there are multiple.
There's multiple sites, yes.
Just because it's multiple bedrooms, it counts as more.
No, so family housing is by the bedroom, special needs is by the bed. So you're even having a greater, profounder impact on helping low and moderate income individuals and families.
What's the typical set aside? Is it 10 or 15%, or where are we with it?
So I think you're confusing two different things. The set aside is when you have an inclusionary project.
Right.
For rental projects, there's 15% of all
15%.
set aside, and for sale, it would be 20%. What I'm discussing as far as you doubling is your realistic development potential.
Right.
Kevin's laughing at me. We talked about this earlier.
And there's how many units in here?
This one's providing, I believe, 16, but you're...
16. So to put it in a different mathematical, so if a private developer came in and needed a 15% set aside and wanted to build market rate apartments, they would have to build, what's that quick math, 85 apartment units in order for us to get 16 units of affordable housing. So we're not building the 85, we're only building the 16 units on a 100% affordable lot. That's the advantage of us doing it this way.
I'm just saying that the plan has kind of changed and morphed through the
Yes, it has.
year.
Yep.
And years. So I'm just trying to make sure we
So
exactly.
just so you know, so this one is getting buttoned down, and then the next one we do is going to go through the same changes and morphing constantly, because the affordable housing group changes and has different demands and different needs. So that is part of this process.
And just to, if you don't mind, I'll just piggyback quickly before you introduce the next one, because the next ordinance that's on for introduction on the agenda is also dealing with affordable housing. And this is kind of the opposite. When you don't provide more units, you have to provide overlay zoning or rezone other properties. And the next ordinance is actually removing the affordable housing units from the Clinton Inn property, because we know that there's a redevelopment plan that was approved for it, that the hotel itself, that lot on your old plan had an overlay zone where if the hotel was knocked down, somebody could do multifamily housing throughout that lot, and that's a pretty big piece of property. So as the mayor was saying, that would be inclusionary. You would have, out of 100 units, 15 would be affordable. That overlay zone's coming off because you were able to find more units elsewhere that were actually getting built versus just being, if it got redeveloped, with multifamily housing. And similarly, the corner piece on Hillside and County, that was put into your original affordable housing plan, but engineering drawings from the property owner have shown that because of the different easements from the county road turn and whatnot, it's not viable to actually hold multifamily in a safe manner for ingress and egress. So we're removing that from your affordable housing plan, and yet you're still doubling the number of units based on all the other good work that you've done.
Yes, Banu first, then Lauren.
So, you're talking about removing from the Clinton Inn property. They were originally being approved because they were saying that they would have a certain number of affordable housing units.
The assisted living or the Clinton Inn property? Because those are different.
No, I mean, it would be the assisted living.
No, so the assisted living is still producing a minimum of 11 affordable housing credits for you through Medicaid beds. That is still happening. That is in your plan. What we did was remove the overlay on the hotel property because the assisted living can't happen without the hotel. Mm-hmm. So it seems silly to keep an overlay zone when you know it's not going to ever come down because they need the hotel to build the assisted living. Okay. So that's the second ordinance.
Lauren, did you have a question?
I did. When we removed the overlay zone on Clinton Inn and Hillside, that is not in anticipation of any other property that is proposed right now. We're not including any numbers from any proposed things before the planning board.
No, the only numbers that are in your affordable housing plan, and that was in the settlement agreement that you all approved last spring, were units that were already approved as of last April.
Okay.
Nothing post-April is in your plan, because if not, you'd have to keep amending your plan every day that the planning board meets, right?
Right, like I'm thinking very specifically of the Benjamin.
The Benjamin Brothers is not part of those 42 units.
It's not helping with these overlay zones.
The Benjamin Brothers will produce units, but that is not in the plan right now. It'll either be, if it's built, units towards the fourth round, which is around the corner, or it will go to your unmet need. But it's not part of the 42 that I'm telling you now.
Okay.
I could go on forever.
All right. Councilor Michaels, could you please introduce the motion here?
I move to introduce on first reading ordinance 23-25 and set the hearing for November 20th, 2023 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter.
Have a second, please.
Second.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, Omar, could you please read the title of the ordinance and conduct a roll call?
Sure. Ordinance number 23-25, an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 35, entitled Land Development Regulations, Article 8, entitled Zoning Regulations, creating a new MF-A-1 multifamily 100% affordable housing district -1. Okay. Councilmember Dayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Menon.
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels.
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Parker.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ordinance 23-26, amendment to eliminate and change the underlying zoning designation, and this is, Wendy said, is removing the multifamily designation on Dean because of the development agreement there. Correct?
And Hillside.
And Hillside. Okay. Manu, could you make the motion, please?
I move to introduce on first reading ordinance 23-26 and set the hearing for November 20th, 2023 at 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter.
Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Omar, could you please read the title of the ordinance and conduct a roll call?
Ordinance number 23-26, an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 35, Land Development Regulations, Article 8, entitled Zoning Regulations, eliminating the MF-I-2 multifamily inclusionary housing district 2, the MF-I-4 multifamily inclusionary housing district 4, and the AHO-4 affordable housing overlay zone district number 4. Councilmember Dayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Menon.
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels.
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Parker.
Yes.
And again, I would like a status report on the Dean Drive project. I want to know what's happening. I want to know.
You're talking about the Clinton Inn project?
I am.
So they're finalizing the details with the DEP?
I want it from them.
Oh, so we'll see if they're willing to do that.
Well, they need to be, because what I have in my notes, and I went back and looked, was that we were opening up an Alzheimer's and Dementia Center. And I have been calling county and state talking about, well, are there funding or grants for an Alzheimer's and Dementia Center? And now I'm hearing that it's going to be just assisted living. And one of the reasons why the Alzheimer's and Dementia Center was so important to us was the traffic flow and the reduced traffic that came with those units. And an assisted living is very different. And I would like an explanation of which one it will be. And I would like a status report on what's happening selling the Clinton Inn. I'd like to know who their proposed seller and buyers will be. I'd like to understand the planning of that hotel. Again, we had intended that hotel for our larger community here in Tenafly as part of this area in need of redevelopment. I want a status report from the company working with us in this area of redevelopment.
So Wendy, why don't you reach out to the planning board attorney Jeff Zan and have them communicate with them? Okay, about that.
And Wendy, just really one quick question about what you said just before about how by getting rid of this overlay zone because it doesn't make sense because they need to keep the hotel anyway. Just totally confirming, if something happened and they sold it all, the thing that was previously voted on wouldn't necessarily, like that doesn't stay where it has. This is only a deal, so to speak, for this particular development.
So if ordinance 2326 is adopted on November 20th, then there is no multifamily zoning on that property. There's no ability for multifamily zoning.
What's the underlying? What's the original district?
It's a commercial zone that allows for the hotel and for the restaurant and whatnot. The housing was only a function of the overlay zoning, and the overlay zoning would be removed if adopted on November 20th.
Okay, let's move on to 23-27, appropriate funds received from the American Rescue Plan grant. Lauren, would you like to make the motion to introduce, please?
Yes. Sorry. Just reading. I move to introduce on first reading ordinance 23-27 and set the hearing for November 20th, 2023 at 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter. And for the public, this is to appropriate funds received from the American Rescue Plan grant.
Okay, thank you. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Omar, could you read the title of the ordinance and conduct a roll call, please?
Ordinance number 23-27, an ordinance appropriating $854,775 received from the Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds Program to provide for various capital improvements in the borough of Tenafly. Councilmember Dayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Menon?
No.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful.
Can we just go through that for the public in case anyone's listening?
We can, for the public's...
Adam, you want to take it?
Yeah, well, first I'm going to say something in that this is the money we're using from the American Rescue Plan funding that came to the borough in order to fix our traffic lights downtown, our traffic signals, put proper lights over on East Clinton and Dean Drive. And this money, again, federal dollars, will go towards the actual work of getting these lights and the timing all accomplished. So thank you to everyone on this council here and our downtown committee and Susan for putting this whole package together for us.
Huge thank you to Susan.
Yes, Susan.
Shepherded it through, so thank you.
Susan, thank you, Captain McClure, for researching rescue funds and your whole staff. The money that we're appropriating, just so the public knows, is for the just enormous work to revitalize our downtown and traffic in our phase 1. And it's for new traffic signal in the intersection of East Clinton and Dean near the Clinton Inn. It's a pilot closure of Piermont Road at Hyler and the bus stop. There's going to be a new all-way stop at J Street in Highwood. We're hoping for curb outs to help walkability and street crossings on River Edge Road and Piermont and J Street. And we're hoping to retime all of our traffic signals so that you can get through Tenafly faster.
And safer.
And safer.
Safer, not faster.
Safer, always safer.
This is such an incredible amount of work. I want to say thank you to the council for passing this first round of appropriations and introducing this first round of appropriations. I do hope that this continues to be passed.
Okay. Thank you, Lauren. Let's move on to committee reports. And before we start talking about committee reports, and we have quite an extensive closed session tonight, keep that in mind. I need to make 3 appointments, but I think we should have a discussion because there hasn't been enough time to really speak to everyone individually to get people's preferences. So the first appointment we need to make is a council liaison with the Historic Preservation Commission. Okay. Is there any members of the council who would like to serve? We'll do the easy part. So Lauren, you're interested. Anyone else?
When do they meet? I'm sorry, I should ask that first.
Yeah.
Thursdays.
Omar, they meet once a month, is it?
It's once a month. I can provide you with
Thursdays.
Thursdays when the environmental commission meets.
Yeah.
That we always see them in the building.
7:30.
7:30.
7:30 Thursday. Okay, I can do
So
that.
You're good with that?
Next 6 weeks.
Okay, so
Something
Omar?
like that.
Yes.
Omar,
Yeah.
that works for you, the schedule? Okay.
I'll forward the schedule.
Is
So-
it this
so-
Thursday?
No.
No.
I don't have it from last year.
That's
All
not
right.
Okay, so Omar, I'm going to appoint Councilwoman Lauren Dayton to the Historic Preservation Committee. Okay. The next one is TVAC. Is there any council members who would like to serve on TVAC? Anyone else? Okay.
I also would like to serve on TVAC.
Mayor, if I may, it would be helpful for the liaison to also be on the police commission because of the overlap.
Okay, so you're both on the police commission, so we have only 6 weeks left of this with 2 meetings? So why don't you both serve as liaisons to TVAC? There really is.
I have an issue with that, but we'll
What?
talk about it close. We can start bringing it close.
Okay, so for purposes of this meeting, I'm going to appoint both of you to,
I have a major issue with that. We have to take it off the table.
so we'll talk about it separately, then I can appoint separately. Right? Or what did you want to say?
No,
You're good with that? Okay. All right, the next one is the hiring committee. Right now it's Dan, so we have an opening for another member. Is there anyone who's interested in being on the hiring committee?
A hiring committee for the.
Well, this is for the borough administrator, is what we put it together for?
Yes.
as well as potentially any other department head
Correct.
situations that we need hiring during this time period.
You want to do it, Vinu? Okay. All right. So, Omar, I'm going to appoint Councilman Menon to the hiring committee, and we'll return back at the next meeting to see that. Okay.
What does TVAC mean?
Mondays.
All right. Okay. So, if to the extent we've got numerous items on the closed session, so I'm going to request that, to the extent possible, to abbreviate your committee reports. Councilwoman Dr. O'Connor, you first, please.
Sure. Environmental Commission, we have some exciting news. 607 pounds of food waste was diverted in our first 2 weeks of our compost pilot program. We're on target to divert a little less than 1 ton in our first month. We're going to be doing a pumpkin smash after Halloween. We're doing it on November 4th. You'll start to see it on the e-billboard and, the mayor's message. It'll be at the Sunnyside compost location from 3 to 5. So smash your pumpkin there and we'll compost it. 140 trees were delivered to the Tenafly Nature Center, and they will be planted in November. Those were purchased from funds with our tree fund. So 140 trees, and that is enormously exciting. And last but not least is we are looking into shared services. Councilman Park is taking the ball with this for styrofoam recycling. In Ridgefield Park, they have now purchased something called a densifier, which sounds something like it's out of Phineas and Ferb. And it's called a densifier, and we're going to see if we can take our recycled styrofoam there and it gets turned into bricks. So, to be continued. So, that's my report.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Michaels.
Yep, a couple of things from the recreation for the community. We have the Recreation Haunted Forest taking place on Friday, actually this Friday, October 27th in Roosevelt Commons. We actually have over 800 people already registered, which is wonderful. Enjoy the day and night Halloween forest, candy, refreshments, inflatables, pumpkin patch, etc. So really I want to see everybody out there. 800 already is pretty amazing. In parallel, the Teen Center will be holding their second annual Halloween party for grades 6th through 10th. Sorry, Councilwoman Dayton, you're not in 6th or 10th grade. On Friday, October 27th, we have over 60 people already scheduled for that. Then just the last thing, we'd love to get some feedback. In the past couple of years, we've had our ice rink. I'd love to get feedback from the community. Please feel free to share with Recreation, myself, if we want to do the ice rink again. So I see it as totally up to the community if they want to do it again. Obviously, we haven't. So please give your feedback to Recreation, or if anyone on the council would like to get that feedback. And then just quickly, I really need to thank Jenny Jackson, Gene Ripkin, Jimmy Corsair, and the rest of the downtown committee. Last weekend we had our town event, party, soiree, Tenafly welcome. Obviously the weather, I was told, I didn't feel anything, but I was told it was a little bit, there's some precipitation, but just an incredible job that the team did. Lots of fun. And December 2nd, we have our next event. So you'll be seeing some information about that, which I'm really excited about. We have taken feedback, and we're actually looking to do it indoors, so we don't have to worry about, a typhoon or anything. So December 2nd, mark the calendars for the second event.
Just a question, is that a borough-sponsored event, or is that a chamber event?
First of all, I like to do everything. I'm part of the team, so it's the borough and the chamber are working together.
No, they're clearly separate entities. One is a private entity, and the other is a public.
Yes, we're doing it together.
Okay. But who is under whose auspices?
So I think I can explain this one. As you know, there was multiple events that were planned, and at the behest of your borough attorney, contracts were signed separately with any type of third-party vendors. So for the December event, the chamber has signed a contract with a third-party vendor, but the borough is still an active participant as far as in providing sports and being and being part of the event planning and part of the day. But it is the chamber who has signed the contract with any third-party promotional vendor or organizer for this particular event.
Okay, because we only have the one event that the borough is sponsoring.
No.
The borough has only one.
The borough signed the contract for the one event, but the borough is still sponsoring as far as providing space, providing support, is still an active participant. The contracts were just separated in order for ease of contracting, basically. So because the numbers came out the way they did, the borough signed the one contract, the chamber is signing the other two contracts, but they're still joint events. It's only the contract that's separate.
It's like any other event we have where borough resources
that's
are.
true.
Sure, we provide.
And again, Councilman Menon, I'm totally cool. You didn't show up for the town. You didn't show up for the event.
I have something else going
Totally
on.
cool.
I was in another state.
I
It's
appreciate
okay.
it.
I'm allowed to go to another
it's
state
great.
to do my own
I think it's
personal
wonderful.
stuff. So
don't take away fun from others.
Don't bring it back to me. I
You're
asked a
challenging
legitimate,
Gentlemen,
I asked a legitimate question. It is legitimate to ask the question.
Okay, so everything.
And the borough attorney answered the question appropriately. Thank you.
Let's move on to the next question. Go ahead, Ron.
I have two questions about rec. One, just correct me if I'm understanding the school's going to be involved in this event, hopefully giving us space for the December event. No, we're not doing it in the school.
We're not doing this. No.
Okay.
We're still trying to figure it out, but we're not doing this.
Okay, then I'm going to move on to the second question. My second question is, I had brought this up on behalf of the basketball board and the soccer board, which have all approached me about our field usage and facility usage with Alpine. And from what I understand, there was a call that took place in which I had asked to be part of but wasn't. And we have been asking, I should say we, the two boards have been asking for numerous years for maintenance on Alpine's fields, kids have been tripping, and for better use of Alpine Gym. Again, right now we have 8-year-olds on a Friday night at 8 o'clock at night. From what I understand, Alpine Gym has now rented their facility to a private group instead of allowing Tenafly and Alpine Recreation to use that facility. I don't find this acceptable. I need some feedback from the rec committee on how to handle this situation. Maybe bring in those two boards, the soccer board and the basketball board, because not only are we paying $20,000 to use Alpine's gym, They're not even giving it to us at reasonable hours for our basketball season. So
we've had multiple conversations.
I want to know.
Sure. So the answer Alpine has said is the situation is what it is. They're not willing to lower their prices, and they only have available what's available. And when they choose to rent their gym out to someone else, we have no control over that. It's in another town. It's a different Board of Education.
We take on Alpine's children into our recreation program. They do not pay for our rec director. They do not pay for our rec staff. They do not pay for community pass programming. They do not pay for anything else that Tenafly absorbs so that their children have a rec program. The agreement was that we use their facilities as part of that rec program.
I think it's a broader
and
conversation.
It's a handshake agreement.
I think it's a broader conversation. We discussed it as a rec committee. I think it's something that I've asked for. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a joint use meeting. I've been asking that for 4 months now. And I don't know if someone's not showing up to get us a joint use meeting, which I believe is something we're supposed to be doing. This has to be the longest time we've gone without joint use. I think this is a broader conversation with the full services that Alpine and Tenafly share together. I don't believe the right answer is recreation, but I absolutely agree. I believe we are not getting our fair share, let's say, of the relationship. I agree.
I mean, currently basketball starts in 1 month. Soccer is just ending. The soccer field is abysmal, just abysmal. They haven't maintained it once the entire thing. It doesn't matter who we speak to. So at some point, we as a community and we as a rec board and a family council are spending money for another town's child to play sports without any benefit. The facilities aren't usable or not available. And again, why are our taxpayers footing this bill and Alpine's taxes are a third of ours?
Well,
come on. At some point,
at some point, we can have the joint use meetings. We can have more meetings.
Not even joint use, though. School has nothing to do with it.
Oh, I believe it does. Again,
it does.
The biggest value that we add to Alpine is the fact that we take in all of their students for education.
But that's not mayor and council business. That's
but
school business.
I believe,
correct.
Again, I believe it is a broader conversation on the fully loaded cost of a student, and is the money being, is it the right amount of money, and then is it shared appropriately?
But again, right now, there needs to be a lot of pressure. We need the basketball facilities to be available and not being sold off because they can make a pretty penny. So not only, by the way, are they not paying their fair share, they're actually earning money in this entire situation on the backs of our rec program, and our TYD is begging for courts.
It starts in the joint use meeting, and to see if the...
How many students are from Tenafly in this rec program?
800 something?
No, from Alpine.
Oh, a couple hundred?
No, I think the numbers are like 12.
No.
That the numbers are very low from Jamie has told me.
No.
They're not hundreds, but it's certainly more than 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Under 100? It's every grade. It's every grade.
Somewhere between that. Right.
Exactly.
So
My point is, though, that the facilities were supposed to be part of our program.
So, Omar, let's reach out to the Board of Ed to schedule a joint use and see if we can't get the Alpine representative to come. Okay?
I want to be part of this meeting. Fine, instead of me, put the basketball board and the soccer board.
We have members on it.
Put Jamie Martinelli and the TYB board.
Well, first we'll have the joint use meeting to flush it through to see if we can get members from Alpine to show up. We'll go from there.
Stop making them have to show up. We can make decisions on our own sides. What's best for our program?
Sure.
We're short fields of court.
Understood. Okay, Omar?
Sorry.
All right. So who's next? Manu? Are you done at it? You're done. Manu.
There was a meeting of the senior center board. I'll just mention a couple of past trips that they had. They went to Lancaster and they went to New York City to see Shunt. So they're still busy with some of a lot of activities that they create. There was a Hispanic Heritage celebration, a choral concert, which I'm not going to pronounce it, but it's a Chinese Romeo and Juliet type a trust for that. And they have a British invasion luncheon. I don't think that happened yet. And a men's night recently. So they're very busy. So just all the seniors who might be listening and watching, if you have any questions, please reach out to Michelle House at the Senior Center. They'd love to hear from you, and that's it at the Senior Center. On the Board of Adjustment, there was a meeting. There were two requests, and one of them was put off to the next meeting or possibly the meeting after that. But one of the things that was a variance for a side yard variance where it was 15 feet was required, and they asked for 6.2, but it was previously 6.8 feet, so there was a modest change from that. So it was approved.
Okay. Anything else? All right, thank you. So I'm going to just want to announce that this Friday at 4:45 p.m. On Piermont Road by the Angelique parking lot is going to be community Shabbat candle lighting and Kaddish as we pray for the release of the Americans and Israelis and the hostages that were kidnapped by Hamas. So that's this Friday at 4:45 in front of Cafe Angelique.
I have a question.
Sure.
Did we get the roads closed and the bus?
The police department and the public works department have been engaged in this from the very beginning. Piermont Road is going to be closed. We're going to have, dump trucks and heavy machinery at each end of the road to control so that it'll be safe. So that's all been taken care of.
Police presence.
Police, absolutely. The chief is intimately involved in all the planning here directly. Of course. Good.
Oh, are you done?
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Committee report?
Yes, that's why I'm looking at you saying, okay, go ahead.
So I'm only going to talk about one committee report, and that's for my Tenafly Pride Club. First of all, October is coming out month for Tenafly Pride, and this past Saturday, our incredible library and our children's librarian and Tenafly Pride hosted Harmonica Sunbeam for Royal Stories with children of all ages, although it was mostly young children. It was very sweet. It was talking about how you can be whatever it is you'd like to be. But I want to talk about it for 2 seconds because the vitriol on social media and in advertising this event was just astonishing. Tenafly Pride exists for that exact reason. Tenafly Pride is a group that is working to make this community inclusive and understanding and have education and facts. And I posted this to tell the community, come on out, come to the library, come enjoy Story Hour. And the amount of ridiculous, homophobic, racist, inappropriate comments back to that generic post was just shocking. So again, we live in this community. For those of you who aren't educated, please become so, because this is the community that I want to live in, the one that hosts Harmonica Sunbeam, and not the one in which your vitriol survives. I doubt anyone's listening, but I'm putting that out in the public.
Thank you, Lauren. Dan?
Nothing to report.
Just as, in terms of, just to clarify on the number of Alpine kids in our basketball program, it is 10 to 12 in the basketball.
No, but basketball, but
I was talking about basketball.
Sports.
Right.
Numerous sports. Soccer, did you include soccer? Did you include wrestling? Did you include
No, I included basketball.
softball? I have kids
Right.
on my children's teams on various throughout the year.
I'm not questioning that. Right, I was just talking about basketball.
Even on Friday's night, how is it being communicated?
So residents are communicating it. They're doing it on social media. They're doing it, through email. The residents who are organizing this are taking care of all that directly. We're going to put it on the borough website. We're going to put it in my mayor's message for Friday. People won't get that till 4 o'clock, and the event starts at 4:45, but it'll be posted early Friday morning. Okay.
By the way, if the town shows up, are we able to accommodate? I mean,
It's not a sit down, right?
right.
Correct.
We're all just standing in the
Right.
parking lot. I just want to be clear. that
Yes, we're going to be clear. This
space and
isn't, we have plenty of space and plenty of opportunities to close streets.
Yeah.
We're very much aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go into closed session now, and you want to read the
Yes.
closed session comments?
And just to add that we're adding in, based on discussion of the day, as an additional item, and I'll point that out. But Resolution R23-430, at a meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on October 24, 2023, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Tenafly has deemed it necessary to go into closed session to discuss certain matters which are exempted from the public. Be it resolved that in compliance with NJSA 10:4-12, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Tenafly are going into post-executive session to discuss the following. Under personnel, there's a PBA grievance and personnel policies. Under collective bargaining, a PBA contract negotiation and police administration. The one I'm adding on is non-collective bargaining contract with attorney contract, and matters falling within the attorney-client privilege to the extent that confidentiality is required in order for the attorney to exercise practical duties as a lawyer. There's potential property acquisitions and potential litigation. Minutes will be taken of the meeting and released to the public at the time that the matter is resolved.
Have a motion to go into closed.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?